Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Ill Equipped. I am your host, Jamila. I hope everyone is doing good out there and feeling even better. Um, on my last podcast, Love Without Conditions, I kind of talked about different love languages, what the different love languages are, and also spoke about, the different types of love, love with conditions and also love without conditions. So super, super heavy stuff. And on this episode of Ill Equipped, I'm going to actually be talking about a few different things. So, if you're new to my podcast, thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. If you've been with me now since the start of 2020 through 2023, skip 2021 and 2022. But no, seriously, I appreciate you all for listening. Take your time out your busy day to download my podcast episodes because, yeah. And like the advice that I have for people is just, like I said, just keep going. It's not easy. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you really want something, you're going to work hard at it. And so, yes, super excited to bring you all this episode to talk about loneliness. And so, I first want to give you all my example of being alone in some ways in life that I was alone. And so one of the episodes. Again, if you're looking for perfect, please continue to listen because here on Ill Equipped, we do not live by the rules of society. So one of the instances of me actually being by myself was when I first took myself out to eat. And, that was a super heavy experience for me because I was nervous. I didn't know how I was going to act. I had my phone out a lot. And so, yeah. But my second time going, I was like, you know what? They don't know who I am. And, I'm going to take on this persona as though I'm a boss because I am. And so when I walked in there, I automatically knew what I wanted. I ordered me a lemon drop. If you know, ladies. And yeah, like ordered my appetizer, my entree. And that was a super big deal for me because that was my first time actually feeling comfortable by myself. And I know a lot of people say they're afraid to be alone. And that's, I think, a lot of us. And I don't like to speak for a collective group because that means, I'm just speaking for the general population. No, but I think a lot of us have actually experienced feeling alone and being afraid to, go out in certain places by ourselves. It's like, what? How can I go out to eat by myself? Like, I have to have somebody there to talk to. And so when I did that, I made that kind of like my monthly thing. Like, okay, this is going to be my self-care time where I'm going to just take myself out to eat. I don't need nobody with me. And I'm going to just spend some alone time with myself. Now, another time that I went out alone by myself is when I went to the K Michelle concert. Super dope, by the way. So whoever brought her to my city, thank you so much. Like, super, super fun. Like, I just got to experience new people. I didn't know anybody in there. And when I walked out, I felt like, I had a few new friends that I would never see again. And I love it like that because we're living in the moment. What's going on right now? Not what's going to happen after this, but right now. And so I think that was super important to do for me. And I was like debating at first, like, okay, well, should I go or should I not go? And so I was actually motivated by a few of my family members to go. And I was like, you know what? I'm going. And so it happened, and I am so happy I did that. I don't regret anything. So to talk about the perception, though, of being alone and loneliness itself. And so sometimes in life, we can walk into a room full of people and still feel on the outside, still feel not welcome, right? And then we can also walk into a room by ourselves and feel like we own the room, like we, can get along with everybody in a room. And I think in some ways that's me when I'm out and I'm going to concerts. But I've also been in the on the other in the other shoes too, where I'm in a room with people and I feel like I'm the only one there, like nobody sees me, like I'm by myself. And so why is that, right? And why is it that we try to so hard to avoid that feeling, or feeling like we need to belong? And so to perceive loneliness in a way where we take it as though, okay, well, all right, I'm alone now because I came here by myself. And so I look at that as opportunity to meet new people. I'm mingling, right? But then it also, I also am open-minded to the environment too. What's the environment? Or are you able to be open and mingle, right? Because at the same time, I can see where you might walk into a room and feel all alone and like an outsider because you're not welcome in that space. Even though you're comfortable in that space, but that space may not be very welcoming. So in that way, I get why you might want to just, stick to yourself and really not commingle with the people around you. And that's why I use my example as a concert, because it never failed. All the concerts that I have been to, I've always, commingled with people. Never knew the people, but I'm always commingling. And so I, call myself a butterfly in a way where, I can just be free. And I love that about myself. And that feeling is one everybody should experience in their lifetime. So being alone has its perks. I would say it has more pros than it does cons. But I think we're all, and again, not speaking for the general population. If you feel like this, you can nod your head and agree. I don't see you. You could just nod your head. But being alone is so scary. We all want, our family, friends, a big group of friends, a big family, like to keep us grounded. But we all don't have that. Like there's people every day walking this earth that are literally alone, that don't have that at all, and not by choice. So this weekend is actually Mother's Day weekend, so I'm going to special shout out to all the mommies out there. Super, super dope. Like, I respect mom so much. My mom's not here, but I know if she was, she would be super proud of me. But I respect moms so much because they make it look worth it. I used to say easy, but now I say worth it because, being a mom is something that it's not easy. You're raising a whole human being. Like, how could that ever be easy? So I respect mothers so much. So if you're listening to this on a Friday, yes, I hope you enjoy your Sunday, and I hope you're well taken care of. So yes, back to what I was saying. Me being alone and, almost in a space of being comfortable, like where I'm at, but also in a sense where, I lost my mom at a young age. And if you were able to check out my podcast episode, Losing a Parent, April 14th, heavy content. I touched a little bit on that, but that really, that really plays with your head, right? Because I feel the loneliest because I don't have my mom here, to share those special moments with. And, when I need her, it's like I can't call her. And even though, she's not here, I know that she, is always watching over me. And so, going into a space, I think, of, feeling like you're alone, and, kind of staying in that space could bring you down. So, how you are perceiving your loneliness is super important. And so, yes, just to let you all know, pertinent to this podcast episode, I am going to read you a poem of mine called Naked and Alone. So, I'm going to save it to the end, though. Just want to let you all know that I have a special poem for you guys. And again, I write rogue, but I write based off, emotion. All my poems are real, raw, they're just, So yeah, you're going to get that at the very end of this podcast. So that's a question. Why are we afraid to be alone? Right? Like, why is being alone so damn scary? And I believe it was Drake. Don't quote me, but I think on one of his songs he said, "Who the heck wants to be 70 and alone?" Right? Like, who wants to be 70 years old and, not have any family, not have any friends, not have any grandchildren? Right? Like, that to me is like the scary lonely. And so again, I kind of like separate the two of like being alone at a concert and like actually being alone in life, right? Because I'm okay with like venturing out on my own and like finding my way. Because wherever I go, it's going to be a home. But like, I need my people to come with me. Like, come on down, right? So, how I look at it is just different. But that other loneliness, that, life loneliness is when I'm like, hold up. Wait. That's scary, right? Yeah, and it's heavy. So, on my last episode, Love Without Conditions, I talked about how we love, with certain conditions, but I think one, pertinent thing to that from that podcast episode was that, unconditional love is one where no matter what, you still have love for that person. That's hard. And that type of love, I truly believe, leads to never being alone. I'll never be alone, right? I can love without conditions. So when we choose to love without conditions, we choose to not be alone. We choose love over ourselves because we choose others. Right? So see how I kind of put those two together, right? But that's not like the easiest thing to do, but it's worth it. I think loving without conditions is worth it. It's worth working on it. It's worth trying. I don't think one should say, well, I don't, I've never experienced that type of love, so I'm just going to avoid it altogether. No, we should all experience love without conditions. No matter where that love is, like who, it matters where it's coming from. Like that person matters. So I'm not going to say that. But who you're dating, right? So, like, loving without those type of conditions and, always having somebody to love, right? And so, yeah, like, how do we do that? Like, how do we, like, love without conditions? And so that we ensure that we are never alone, even with our friendships, right? Like, somebody can do something, like, that makes you so mad, right? But do you lose love for that person? Or like in that moment, I didn't like your actions, but I still love you. So to separate the two, I didn't like what you did to me, but I still like you. I didn't love what you did to me, but I still love you. And being able to say those things to that other person. So, okay, all right, we're going to bridge this gap real quick. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, boom, 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 boom. All right, y'all. Because it's like it becomes clearer the more I talk, because it's like, all right, well, I'm able to, love without conditions. The other person needs to be able to reciprocate that, right? And allow that person to love them without conditions. Okay? So those two, there's that gap. We have to bridge it and make it one. Okay? So it's hard work. It takes hard work, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. Like in the end, like, would you question love that you like, in the love that you have for somebody else unconditionally, faithfully, right? So we can't really decipher kind of like being alone and, like loneliness. And so that's what I was like doing, if y'all didn't get it. But whatever. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, like for me, I am, very strong when I'm standing by myself, but I'm even stronger when I'm standing with a collective. So there's that. And so, yeah, that's that. But I just want to sidebar really quick. I know, you all have been listening to me since February. And I appreciate you guys so much for just allowing me for this to be my free space. Like, this is, where I get it all off my chest. It's like it's my time. It's me time. It's our time together. And so I just, really want to just say thank you all for just, listening to me. And yeah, like I said, it's never too early to be appreciative. And whatever you're doing in life, just keep going. Loneliness is, something that is temporary, right? But in order to get to where we need to, sometimes we have to, be alone to accomplish the things that we are destined for. So, yeah, there's that. All right. So, now to my poem titled Naked and Alone by Jamila A. Reagan. Disheartened by plundered loss, despite and vintage, prodigiously warped in distortion, the composer consumed, desolated, more than invigorating. That's it. I had to put my voice on for y'all. And so, yeah, that one is just inspired on how I'm feeling right now. So I hope you all enjoyed that little snippet. And also, I have some super cool and dope news for my next podcast episode. So, I will have a special guest on that episode next Friday. So, tune in. You guys are going to be excited. I'm excited for you all to listen. So, yeah, tune in next Friday. If you're not already tuned in every Friday to my podcast, Ill-Equipped. And if you haven't, but tell a friend to tell a friend that Ill-Equipped is popping every Friday. Yes. And like I said, we're going to the top together. If there's like anything that any of my listeners need as far as advice on like what to do as far as like starting a podcast or, like anything as far as that goes, just reach out to me. I'm definitely, open to, sharing ideas and, networking with my people because I think that's what we need to do. We have to support each other, network, communicate in different ways. And so, yeah, I'm all with that good stuff and good vibes. And so, like I said, I hope the day is treating you all well. I hope you're feeling better. And so, yeah, it's going to be great. So I will talk to you all soon. I know it's like when I end, like I know it's like right when I'm about to get off, it's like, but I will talk to you all soon. And thank you again for tuning in to me, listening to my craziness here on Ill-Equipped. You already know we do not live by the rules of society. And the meaning of ill-equipped is not having the experience or preparation that is needed. And on this podcast, it features a host of people who don't have it all together. So if you were looking for perfect, just keep listening because the pressure of society does not live here. It gets real and raw, and you're going to hear experiences from passionate people. So yes, the unedited versions of the truth. Yes, like let's go. And that's what happens here on Ill-Equipped. And if you're new, welcome in. And if you've been with me, like I said, from 2020 through 2023, skip 2021 to 2022, thank you so much. Yeah, it's up and it's stuck. So I will see y'all. Well, see y'all. Oh, dang it. I quoted myself. See y'all. I will see y'all. I definitely will see y'all soon. But I will talk to you all later. Bye.